Hi, my name's Beth. I'm a parent carer to two girls and one boy. My two girls have a multiple kind of array of diagnosis between them. My eldest has quite complex medical needs as well as autism, ADHD, a few other things in there. I think as a parent carer, one of my biggest areas of struggle has really been access to meetings, if it be with the school, with the local authority, health appointments, arranging, if I'm taking one child, especially with COVID, you can only take one person in now, and you've got to then arrange somebody to come and sit with the other children, and you've got to deal with the disruption to their routine that day, and also trying to plan it so that it fits to meet the sitter's needs and then everybody in the family's needs. It's a real challenge. I think it's been made easier with the introduction of Zoom and Teams, and you've then cutting out a lot of that sort of travel time. I had a meeting today, had to be before school and after school. I need a sitter regardless, but for us, the disruption was less if we done it in the morning. So 8 o'clock, my sitter starts at 7 in the morning. And you've got the minimal disruption there, but still my middle child who's autistic is already anxious because the meeting's at her school. So she's got that going on. She's got the added sort of disruption to her morning routine because she's normally we go at a set time. We had to change it to a different time this morning. And it's really navigating all of those different little things to make it work. And I think schools and things, they kind of need to sort of look at a more accessible approach for the family that's coming in, because it is difficult. It does put a pressure on the family that not all people have access to a sitter, not all people can afford a sitter, not all people have family members living by. And actually, you can't, my eldest child, there's no way I could just leave her with anybody. It has to be someone that's medically trained to meet her needs should she need something while I'm not there. So I think when you've got all of that pressure and whatever you're going to the meeting appointment for anyway, by the time you get there, you're actually so emotionally overloaded anyway, because you've had to hold all of these plates in the air and try and keep everybody else going, when actually, you're the one in the middle that's going to the appointment. So you're still then trying to keep that at the forefront of your focus. And I think then what I'd love to see is more sort of good working relationships with schools. I mean, today had the potential to be a really difficult meeting. And it could have gone either way, but I'm very much a parent where I want to work with the school, I want to work with the local authority, I want to work to make things better, not just for my child. I want to give you an input that you can only get from a parent carer that lives their child's journey every single day. And it's a very different perspective to what you would think, because you may have worked with 500, 800 autistic students, 500 students with ADHD, medically complex children, but you've never worked with my children. So actually, when you come in, you don that, we are the professional, we're in charge, we know best attitude. Is just the wrong way to go, because the parent is the expert, the parent is the professional that is coming to you. And if a parent comes to you and they offer you that expertise, bite the hand off, just bite the hand off, because you won't get that elsewhere. And I think, today went really, really well. I couldn't have asked for a better outcome. Everything's, a line drawn, a clean slate, a plan to move forward. You need to feel inclusion isn't just, we're having a meeting, so I've included you in this discussion. I'm listening, but I get you're listening, but are you hearing it? And I think when you see that the plans are being put in place, actually put in place, then you've been heard. And that's for me, what a good inclusive setting is. Making the changes, recognizing everybody makes mistakes, people are human, nobody's expecting schools, hospitals, nobody's expecting that to be a smooth, unbumpy journey. But what we do want is, when a bump comes, to involve us, to speak to us, to, it's about mutual respect. so that, you know, families know we can come to you if there's an issue, and equally you as a professional know that you can approach us and it's going to be, you know, a two-way conversation. We're leaving our children in your care. That involves a huge amount of trust, huge amount of trust. And to get that trust, there has to be respect. There's just no, you know, there's no way around that. And I think starting from that point actually verbalizing it and recognizing it and having that conversation and saying, I want to work together. I want to, you know, I want this to fit for my child, is the starting point that you know, that where everybody wants, sort of thing, you know. And it's, you know, I have a set up in my middle child's school, and actually with my eldest college, where if she's had a difficult morning, a difficult start to the morning, or there's been change, we've had to go to the hospital with one of them, so the other one's routines changed, I'll email the tutor and say, really difficult start today. And it could be something random, the wrong tights, the wrong, you know, a new shirt this morning, it was a new shirt, and it sits different on her neck. So instantly her, you know, sensory processing is like somewhere up here. And so everything else is taking a back seat. And I can recognise that and I can see where the behaviours are coming from. But if she was to go into school, they wouldn't know. They would just think, oh, she's off on a teenage rampage, you know, and she would probably likely end up sanctioned because she's in a very heightened state of anxiety, but they wouldn't instantly recognise that. So I email the tutor and say, it's been a rough morning. Can you just see where she's at when she comes in and just let whoever needs to know? And I think that is where the co-production starts, isn't it? Because you're involving them and you're trying to make it better for not just for your child. You don't want the teacher to have an off day, because that damages their relationship as well. If they didn't know, they would maybe respond to it in a different way, and then that damages the relationship that they've got moving forward. So I think it's, you know, it's about listening as a school, listening as a team, and understand that it is teamwork, because that's how you get the best outcomes for the child at the centre. And everybody wants the best outcomes, whether, you know, everybody can achieve, everybody can dream, everybody has goals and agendas. And I think it's really important to not minimise the child's goals or what their dreams are for their future, because what's right for one child isn't necessarily right for another. And just because someone maybe is less academic or has a goal that's less academic, it doesn't make them less. That's just diversity. And we need, you know, to get to the focus of remembering that everybody brings something to the table, and everybody working together makes that happen. So just to let everybody know, we're also doing a Twitter Spaces for all things SEND. So where a few of us will meet up on Twitter, and it's a sort of open communication bit for everybody to sort of share their opinions and experiences. There'll be a different SEND topic every week. With myself, Vina, Mum to Millionaire podcast, Marie SEND Warrior Mum, and Lisa SEND. So we'll meet every Friday, 10:30, Twitter Spaces, and just chat about how, you know, what's going right in SEND, if that happens, what's not happening, what we want to see happening, how we can try and make it happen. So yeah, come join us and have a chat.